Hello, 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 Libras. Welcome, welcome. Happy holidays. And yes, I'm being a little bit crazy, trying to lift vibrations, keep happiness, joy, keep you smiling and all that kind of stuff. So, welcome, welcome. For those of you that are brand new, I'm not that crazy, really not. My name is Patty. I'm an empath, and I'm doing your intuitive tarot, and I also do intuitive coaching if you need it. It's sort of like counseling from the divine rather than a secular. However, I'm telling you, it is coaching. It is not counseling, but it is definitely through a spiritual way of guiding your life and moving your life forward from a spiritual side rather than a secular side. All right. So this is for the reading of the 21st through the 27th for you guys. And I was going to say Virgos, Libras, this 21st is the actual first day of the conjunction for Saturn and Jupiter. There's going to be a lot of interferences, frequency interferences. There's going to be a lot of energy interferences. So don't be surprised if you get a little scatterbrained for a couple of days, or like you can't think clearly, or you're just questioning yourself. That's going to be typical with this new conjunction because it's considered a grand conjunction. And there is so much that the video I did on this yesterday, was it yesterday? Which you can see, I think it'll pop up here in a minute, but it's all about not only just the next weeks or months, it's for years and years to come. So this is going to affect us for years and years to come, decades. So this is something that we're moving into Aquarius, away from Capricorn. So we're actually getting out of stagnation, and we're beginning to go through that birthing canal, which can be a little bit painful for a lot of people because it means about transitioning, having flexibility, learning something new, growing. So if you didn't get a chance to see it live yesterday with us, it is recorded, and I would strongly suggest to be proactive for your future to watch that, and it'll give you some tools and tips. All right, so let's get started. So the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, remember, be kind to yourself because it's probably just going to be a really chaotic couple of days, shifting not only from these planets, but also too from one age to another. We're in a revolution kind of time. We're actually creating history, and people in 50 years to 100 years from now are going to be talking about this time in what happened. We just can't feel it because we're trying to survive through it, per se. All right. So the first card I'm going to pull is for the current energies. And this will be for the week of the 21st through the 27th. The second oracle will be for the future energies for the last week of December, and on the 29th is a full moon, so we got all kinds of energies bouncing. And one of the reasons why you'll hear even the news and everybody talk about this conjunction is because the planets are so close. They are so close. I mean, it's almost like they're almost scathing each other, and that's sort of a little bit dramatic, but this is how close they are. These two planets, Jupiter and Saturn, and Saturn's got rings, so it's got to come in as a tilt. But the thing is that they are a half of our moon, half of that. If you cut it in half and you look at that, that's how far apart they are, about 2,000 miles. Not much. So those energies are just huge as they hum by each other. Just huge. So, all right. So our first energy out is the wishing well. 8, 12, so 3. So the wishing well. So the wishing well is sort of the things that you're dreaming of, sort of the things that you would like, sort of the things that you would like to manifest in the future. However, that is the number 3, and it is acknowledging those. What the energies, though, for this is what you might want to be thinking about is whatever you are wishing on, make sure that there's some factual base to it. It's not just a pipe dream, that it's something that you can move forward and set goals on. Not a resolution. Don't do a resolution kind of a thing. This is something that you just want to think about and set goals on. What is it that I can actually realize? Because with this new energy that we've got coming into Aquarius, these are things of coming of new. However, they have to be factual. There has to be evidence. We can't live in the fantasy world of like, oh yeah, I would love to become an astronaut. You know, for me, I would be saying, okay, that's ridiculous because I'm 61 years old and I have no background in science. That's sort of what I'm talking about. That's a fantasy. This is something that we need to get away from for 2021, 22, 23, because there's such a shifting of ages that we want to get away from that. So whatever your wishing well is, whatever you're gearing yourself towards, whatever you're having, you look at, acknowledge it, but make sure it's realistic is what I'm saying. Then the energies for the following, moving into, not the following week, but moving into the last week of December, is the spirit of place and the number 4. Now, when you're putting these together, you're actually the mirror of the spirit of place is looking at the reflection of yourself and asking yourself. It's sort of a self-examination of where you're at, where you're going, who you want to be. But it's also too about the number 4 is the number 4 is about stability. Where are you getting your stability and your balance from? Where is that all coming from? And this is for your future energies. It's very much, if you watch the video of the planet doing that, it's very, very much about inner work that we need to be doing, especially our shadow work during this time of this week of the 21st through the 27th, especially because we're going into a new age. So we want to go in knowing what we want, knowing where we want to go, what we want to do. Of course, there's always going to be switchbacks, and the divine's always going to throw a loop in it, and there's always going to be distractions, and there's always going to be that. But it's just sort of the thought process where you're supposed to be moving towards your inner self, your inner work, and maybe working on some of those shadows that we have. Because our first card out is the Empress, and the Empress is the number 3, acknowledgement again. We have acknowledgement to what we want to do, but not only with the Empress, she's a very nurturing woman. Actually, she's a feminine, could be a guy. So, I mean, a feminine energy. But this here is where we need to be nurturing ourselves, growing ourselves, loving ourselves. And this is what the planets are saying. This is what the energies are saying. And this is what the divine also says, that we need to be loving ourselves first, knowing what we want, how we want to grow, because we need to do that before we can move on to doing that for someone else. All right. It also could mean that this next week could be starting out that somebody might be finding out they're pregnant. So that could be a possibility as well. So that in the week of the 21st through the 26th, or maybe in the process of having the child. So we have the 6 of Wands out after that. So again, these 2 cards together, and what the wishing well and what the planets are saying, is also to self-accomplishment. So we have 2 number 3s already. So that's acknowledgement. And this number 6 of Wands is all about self-accomplishment. Now, self-accomplishment, this is something that you're planning on doing, or you want to do, or you have been in the process of doing, and it's going to come to a completion, and you're going to have that self-acknowledgement, that self-accomplishment, that pat on your back. You know, you're going to pat yourself and saying, I did it, I made it, it worked, it happened, those kind of things. But this is something that you're moving forward and doing more so on your own, just like the wishing well, and also like the mirror, looking at yourself and self-examination. This is really sort of a self journey this next week. And we're moving into a time where you're going to be surrounded probably by family or friends. Or if you're not, this is a time where maybe self-reflection on your shadow work might be happening. Because not everybody celebrates the holidays the way that, the same way. So this might be a time for that self-reflection. All right, so let's see what else we've got going. Oh, yeah. So remember I said about the shadow work? Remember I said we have to work on our shadow work? We do. So our shadow work are the things, as new people in tarot, they don't understand some of the verbiage. So when we talk about shadow work, this is sort of like the darker parts of our sides are not negative. They're just things that we sort of like to don't share, don't keep, and keep secret to ourselves. And it keeps us bound and in bondage. So it keeps our vibrations low. And that's what the devil is all about. So it's about breaking those bonds, breaking those ties. And that's where the self-examination comes in. That's where looking at yourself in the mirror and asking those things. I even have to do that. I've been doing that really hard for the last week. It's like, okay, what am I doing that I could be making myself better? Where is it that I'm falling short in my thought process? Where can I change that? Because we all sometimes fall back. And we fall back into our old ways. So we need to re-examine ourselves from time to time. So this is a time where change is going to happen. Somebody is actually in the process of doing this because we have the Fool out next. And the Fool is bringing a newness, like with the Aquarius energy on the 21st. This is bringing a newness. This is bringing a purity. It's like a fresh start for somebody. And that's going to be a really big thing because it's going to be really hard to leave some of those bad habits or those people or the things that you have wanting to get away from. Maybe it's like a smoking addiction or something like that. Or something that's keeping you bonded and down. Sometimes it's our mindset, it's our process, the way we think is keeping us held back. Fear is a huge thing, but somebody's actually in the process of doing this. This is beautiful because, again, we have the self-accomplishment. Remember the 3, especially this first one, is all about self-accomplishment. And you're just about there because this is like almost when I talk about in Get Balanced 2020, or if I'm talking in my readings, I'll say breaking your chains, letting the chains fall off. This is sort of that feeling because you're like, whew, I can now breathe and be myself. Is like when I came out from sharing I just came out and said, you know what, this is who I am. This is my abilities. This is what I do. This is what I'm going to do. And if people fall away, they fall away. If they don't, then they accept me for who I am. So that's sort of that feeling, if you know what I mean. All right. Ooh, I flipped all my cards. Oh my goodness. Did I flip them upside down? Okay, what do we got here? Make sure they go right. Okay, so then again, we have the number 4. And we have the 4 of Wands. So again, we have wands, we have communication, we have a gathering, we have getting together. And this is also a unity. So there might be coming together for somebody. That might be your wish, your dream, your hope, your prayer, whatever, your meditation, whatever that is. But this is a celebration. Again, we have Christmas this week. We have celebrations. If you don't celebrate Christmas, there's still sometimes gatherings and parties that maybe be happening. But I have a feeling this is going to bring 2 people together. I don't know who, what, where, when, why, but I have a feeling this is going to bring 2 people together. Now, when I say that, because it's more of stability, it's almost like somebody is needing to finish something that had to do with communication. Like maybe there's broken communication. Maybe somebody's been not talking to somebody for a long, long time. Maybe they got in an argument or a kerfuffle or whatever, and they haven't. And things get worked out, and that unity comes back together. So that could be one of the energies there. I can see that it has been a bondage for somebody. It has been really hard and draining and very emotional for somebody to have that breakup of communication. But there is success with it because it's a new energy. It's going to come together. I hope I can do this. I'll be holding the whole deck here. So we go from, you know, working on something that you're successful at, and this is a bondage. This is something that's been holding you back, something that's been really wearing on you, something that's been holding you down, whether it's your fear, whether you just don't want to deal with it, whatever it is. That's what this energy is here. But then there's a break. There's a fresh and newness here. This is brand new, and it's also pure because it's a fresh start. The Fool is about a fresh start. I mean, he's holding on this one, maybe, is he holding it? Yeah, he's holding a little white rose, which is pure, a fresh beginning, something very fresh and new. And then you're coming together. So it's like, yes, maybe you have an old friend or a lover or, whatever it is, a family member that you just have been arguing with. It's going to come together. This is great. This is great. All right. Let's see what else we got going here for Libras. Yes, this is going to bring a real sense of closure. It's going to bring a big closure, and it's going to be a good feeling closure. 10 of Pentacles is all about harvest. It's every kind of harvest. It's from financial to love to communication to all that kind of stuff. It's the best one to come out as. So this is really a good week for you guys. I don't know what is holding you back or down or fearful or anything like that. So remember, the energy is the wishing well. You really hope that, for some families coming together, it's like, really, I hope we don't end up fighting again. I hope we don't doing this again, or I hope so-and-so doesn't come in and they're all liquored up and creating problems, blah, blah, blah. That's where that energy is coming from. And then we're almost moving to the end of the week here. So, which is looking at yourself. Again, thank you. So it's like you're only controlling yourself, remember, in these situations, nobody else. Yeah, this is really going to turn the table and turn the tides around because it's really been a burden to somebody. It has really been really hard on somebody. I don't know who this is for. And again, we have the Queen of Pentacles, but then we have the Tower. So again, this is going to really turn things around. We're going from a Capricorn stagnant energy that is completely stagnant, not moving, not productive, and more of a institutional government kind of a thing, to Aquarius, where it's all being opening up to a new age, new way of thinking, more community, more gathering, more mind working together kind of a thing. So the energy is going to change completely upside down. All right, let's see what else we have. For Libras, for the 21st through the 27th, please. My voice has been being really weird lately. It's like goes way high, then way low. Way high, way low. If you know me or watch me, I've sort of got a higher voice. Some people say it's Minnie Mouse. Yeah. Look at this. 2 10s. Wow. 2 10s, the Fool, the 6. So everything. Everything. So this is what, this is the energy that was being projected at the beginning. Remember? And when you do your self-reflection, when you do your self-examination, and you have to look at everything that you're doing right now, these are offerings to you. These are peace and great and all this kind of stuff. This is all a good thing, but the decision's yours. How you handle anything and everything. If you go into a family and you're wondering, oh crap, is somebody going to cause more trouble? And that's all you're focusing in on. You're bringing those energies in. Focus in on being the light, being a lighter vibration, and not allowing those. And don't allow those energies in, because when you allow those energies in, it's like a law of attraction. You're attracting that. All right. Let's see what else for Libras. Oh, Page of Swords. Yeah, there's a message coming. Message. For that person, though, make sure that you're not looking. You're looking at the past of what's been happening, but you can go there for just a split second, but don't focus in on that. Focus in on what could be happening for the future, because that could be whatever you create it to be. And that, what I mean by that is the energy. You can create something that is more joyful, happy, kind of energy, or you can bring old baggage energy. And I talk about that like with couples and things like that. You know, when you're dating and you have an old boyfriend or ex-lover or whatever, and you're bringing that energy forward into the new, it won't work. It just won't work. You got to heal yourself. You have to heal yourself. Yeah, so the Empress here we have again. Time to nurture, heal ourselves, love ourselves, be ourselves. This is a double. This is really hard. Also could be mean that somebody really is seriously pregnant. Don't know who that could be for, but it could be. But this, again, this is about your energies, about self-examination. Now, this is, again, the energies towards moving towards the end of the year. A lot of people do think about this at the end of the year, about, you know, reflecting on what happened last year and all this kind of stuff. But the only thing you can imagine is when you do that self-reflection, you can control nobody or else but yourself. So in that reflection, how much of it was really out of your control and how much was it in your control? And the Chariot is for moving forward. That's exactly the way. You don't see the Chariot or the guys walking backwards. You see them moving forwards. Moving backwards, that's gone. That's just now a memory, and it's a memory of how you choose it to be, a positive or negative energy, good or bad, whatever you want to call it. I know a lot of people talk about it in different ways. So we have the Eight of Cups. Not a lot of cups here. So we're looking a lot more towards communication. And then again, we've got the Fool. So we've got double energies on the Empress and the Fool here. That meaning that, yes, things are going to change. Things are going to change for the new. Things are going to change, but it has to be your mindset. Anything that has worked in the past that ended up not working, or maybe you were trying something really, really hard and it's like, why isn't it happening? Try it a different way, because that old way is not going to work anymore. If you, again, watch the video on the planets, and you'll understand a little bit more, because it's not only things aren't going to work that way, things are not going to come back the way that we thought that they would. And then also too, this new energy is completely different. It's like polar opposites. So you have to begin to be creative and flexible and willing to try something new and fresh to make whatever your goal is happen. And I've even had to do that with my business stuff. Is like, okay, well, this doesn't work anymore. If I keep placing an ad up and I'm not getting anything sold, I'm like, okay, what is it about this ad? Or same with this channel. Is like, okay, as a new creator, what do I need to do to create to be able to get more people to watch or to see? We have to change things up all the time. That's the energy for the Aquarius, for the energy for you guys, Libras, moving forward. So remember to self-reflect all the time this week. You know, just you know, it takes 2 seconds. You know, did I say that right? Did I say it wrong? Did I do that right? Did I do it wrong? You know, and just see where it's taking you for your future. Is it holding you back? Is it holding you in fear? Is it keeping you in bondage? Or is it allowing you to move forward with the Chariot into the future for something new and exciting? For the Fool. For the new exciting. So hopefully that will help you for the first. And then again, we'll talk about next week about the full moon, because we're going from energy to energy. We've hit energy, but we went from new moon to Saturn and Jupiter to, and then we also had 3 conjunctions this year that made this a grand conjunction. And then we go to a full moon. So these energies are bouncing all over the place, but just forward movement, keeping your mind forward movement, think forward, don't look in the back, and try to find a way to get that sort of healed, put it that way. Heal your past, or heal that you don't compare your one date to another date if you're in the dating, because that you're going to blow it. I know, because I've done it in the past. So anyway, so Libras, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Please be safe. And please like, share, subscribe. I'm really enjoying this, so hopefully we can keep the channel going. And share, subscribe. And I'm going to do the dailies. So if you hit the bell after you subscribe, you'll be notified when those dailies are still coming on. And the videos, the new videos I probably have up there, you can see those too, on how to grow your spirit and how to also grow if you're an empath as well. All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful holiday, and I will see you on the 28th. Take care, everybody.